Today I'm going to be reacting and breaking down two of the most popular songs from Subnautica 2, the main theme and Titan class biosignatures. In case you don't know me, my name is Atlas and I'm a composer and music producer who helps people like you understand video game music on a deeper level through its storytelling and the emotion it's trying to evoke. And with that being said, let's check it out. Seems like we have a glance of a theme there. Sort of nebulous right now. Okay, now it's taking direction. I love the glassy and sparkly sounds. That was beautiful. Ooh, that ping pong delay effect was fantastic. Okay, let's pause it right here. We will keep listening to the song a little bit further, but we need to talk about some of the things already. Okay, so the first cue, which is somewhat unassuming at the beginning and low energy, nebulous, is creating two important threads of storytelling. One of them is about space as in vastness. You know, after all, we are in open bodies of water. And the other one is uncertainty, you know, a degree of apprehension to what comes next, the unexplored, the unknown. I have played Subnautica and Below Zero, and I know those two elements are nuclear to the identity of the game, so it seems the music is still carrying that essence, but I can hear it with a higher degree of scale. And I think we can compare this song to the track Salutations from the first game, since it starts very similarly and has the choirs in it. But in the instance of Subnautica 2, it does sound like it sacrifices some of that intimacy from the first game for scale or a more epic vibe. And you know, maybe it is doing so to pretty much tell you that the game is literally bigger than the first game in every way. The world is bigger, the story is bigger, the characters are more significant, and the stakes are higher, and so on and so forth. However, it is doing it in a measured way. The increment in the intensity of the music is not out of control. I also think that the music so far is staying at surface level. It speaks about the wonders that await you on shallow waters, if you will, but we are not listening anything, at least so far, related to the abyss. The storytelling is more about, you know, the biomes, the creatures, and, you know, all the beautiful scenery that you're going to experience in the game. All right, let's keep listening. Okay, this is the theme, the little tease of a theme that we heard at the beginning, but obviously it is elaborated in its entirety here. This is gorgeous. I think this is a tonal percussion. Ooh. That was quite the contrast right there, mate. Yeah, the storytelling in this part of the song is different from the pretty much the first half. It does add challenge and threat in the music. Oh, it doesn't resolve, which makes sense. Okay, let's talk about it. Alright, so now we have the main theme of the game, which we did get a little teaser at the beginning of the song, which keeps building the same premise I was explaining before. The excitement and wonder of discovering this brand new world. You know, the new biomes, the new creatures, and new tech to play with. The sparkly and glassy instruments that we hear are quintessential to the world building of the song. It's all about creating a soundscape identity of the element that gives life, water. The spark as we see the water surface glimmer to the light of a star, and the glass as we get a similar visual experience when we see underwater. And like I said during the reaction, we have a very cool juxtaposition of the very sparkly Q playing the theme of the song to that foreboding accent that peers through the mist into the darker side of the game, which is not only the abyss and the leviathans that dwell in it, but also Altera. And the percussion adds energy to the tension and threat, to the dangers you will be facing, as well as the menacing ostinato that increases in intensity as well. And like I did mention at the end, the track has an unresolved ending, which makes sense since it is up to you to find out what's the outcome of the story as you play the game. Alright, now let's check Titan class biosignatures. Just by the name I can kind of already tell what it is, but... This is creeping me out, mate. This definitely has to do... It sounds abyssal, for sure. Ooh. Okay, we have now yeah, like a rhythmic percussion in the back, but it's also like in the load register, you know? It's pretty bassy as well. Some synths with distortion, saturation in them makes the song increasingly more eerie and creepy. Those ghostly notes are so effective. Oof! Oh my god, the threat threshold just jumped like 200% here. Oh my god. And the percussion as well is way more your face, and the distortion and the saturation in it helps a lot to carry that storytelling premise that I was talking about being eerie and creepy, but this time is beyond that. Now it's about panic. Interesting that it has kind of the Ouroboros effect, that it ends how it starts. All right, let's talk about it. All right, I think the storytelling here is clear as water, no pun intended. This song is all about dread and significant threat. And I want you to see this. This is the waveform of the song that we just heard. As you can see, it's easily visible that it has 3 very distinct cues with different amounts of energy and intensity. This is done for adaptive implementation of music in the game, as in the music changes depending on what you do or where you are. So I can see this track being used in an abyssal zone for sure. The first cue plays when you are entering the zone but nothing is happening. Second cue plays when there's maybe a Leviathan in the vicinity, okay? And the third one is when the Leviathan is in pursuit to kill you. Now, I don't know if the music is implemented in a horizontal or vertical way, because judging from the track in the OST and the soundtrack, these blocks are most definitely a horizontal approach in which you interchange the blocks or the segments depending on the threat level. But this is also done this way for the purposes of having the song in the soundtrack. In the game, it could be more adaptive through vertical implementation, in which each layer or each instrument track that we hear from all the segments or blocks that we see in the waveform fade in and out depending on what's happening in the gameplay. Now, this approach makes the music way more dynamic and immersive at the cost of it being less memorable. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and a hype. I do weekly live streams here in YouTube where I take viewer requests. We do events like community tournaments and live tier list. I also do streams on Twitch for anime music, and I take viewer requests there as well. All the links are going to be in the description of this video. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one.